Hey, it's Kellen, and today, you guys, I'm going to give you some different type of game because this is going to be journalist game with a new journalist, and I hope that this person just brings so much to the YouTube streets. She's currently a contributor on the African Diaspora news channel. She put herself as junior reporter, which she could have just said reporter, but I thought that was so humble and nice. Today, you guys, I have Kia Fullerton. Kia, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. I want to know your passion for journalism. I see that you've had internships, you volunteered, you seem to have a real thirst and talent and gift for journalism. When did this start for you?
Well, I would say, I'd guess my inspiration was like my dad, because he's very informative of what's happening, like news in like the Caribbean, the UK, Africa. So since I was a child, it always educates me on things and for me to be aware of myself as a Black woman in today's world. So because I like value him and his information and education, I always enjoyed English. That was my passion through high school, like creative writing or just like news writing and stuff like that. So I guess like since then, that's how I found my passion. And then I thought, you know what, let me do something about this. Let me get a degree in journalism. And yeah, here I am.
Okay. Now, when you wanted to pursue this, did you ever look at it and say, journalism is great, but
Mhm.
there's not a lot of money in journalism?
Yes, of course. Everybody, we know, I know, journalism is not a industry where you be rich and, all of that stuff. But that was not really important to me. Yes, I will get like money and earnings, of course, because I need to support myself. But to me, journalism is about educating and making people aware of what's happening. And that's what's important to me, like spreading news, spreading facts, spreading information. So to me, yeah, like money is not like the thing that I want in my life, because I could have, I don't know, been an Insta girl or something, or I don't know, something different, or gone for a job that is more, salary based. So, but that was not my passion. So yeah.
And it's funny you say that because I've told you from the first time I said, feel free to be loose, do whatever you
Mhm.
want to do, however you want to do it. And I see the shyness every time. It'll come out and you'll give more.
Yeah.
But Instagirl and journalism is actually nothing new. When we look at the Spanish markets,
Mhm.
their journalists are always some would say over sexualized. I would
Mhm.
say they just want to look the best that they can. And
Mhm.
as a man, I've never been mad at it.
Mhm.
Keep doing what you're doing, mamacita.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think it takes away from their journalist their skills. But
Mhm.
I know in the UK, yeah, you don't see that, and even here
Mhm.
in the States,
Mhm.
it's not. There are some journalists,
Yeah.
usually they're Black or Afro Latina type women who are totally, it's just the way that they're built. You could have put a bag over them and things are just going to, the bag is going to curve to however they
Mhm.
curve. But do you ever like think about, well, if I do this and if I do that, I would get more attention?
I guess like yes, I would get attention if I was like posting a particular way or wearing certain clothes, but I feel like people would only be attracted to my looks and not really for my talent or information. Like I don't think they will be listening to me, if you get what I mean.
Mm.
Like here in the UK, like as you said, in other countries, like Spain, like women are presented in a certain way, wearing dresses and showing their like breast area or whatever. Um, for me, like they only do that because they want the male audience or certain people to stay focused on what they're actually saying. That's the
Mm.
whole technique. So it's not the case you guys think, oh, this she just wants to look good. Like the production team and the people told us to dress like that. Like that's not. We don't even know if it's that their choice, but majority of the time it's not really their choice. It's just the environment that they're in, and they tell them, look, if you for us to get our numbers growing, I want you to straighten your hair and wear red lipsticks and stuff like that. So it's kind of, I see it as manipulating the audience. And that's why I don't want to go down that route, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to be comfortable, number one. And I'm a true feminist
Mm-hmm.
where you do what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you want to do, and I mean whatever. Like I just totally out there because some people that is just them, and I think with when we think about traditional TV, even the men can't change their hairstyle. I mean, there's influencers I know who can't change their hairstyle where
Yeah.
I like to change mine whenever I want to. And
Mm-hmm.
I go into government business meetings like this, or if I wanted to shave it, or if I wanted to shave this off right
Mm-hmm.
here and just leave this. You guys have never seen that style with the mohawk ball.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that might bring on something. People, and so I like folks, however you're comfortable and it's art and whatever you think, because I do know what you're saying is true. I think it's even outside of journalism. I mean, what sometimes women wear to get attention and what type of attention they want.
yeah.
Women going to the mailbox in a short skirt and a shirt cut off here and
Yeah.
going very
It all
slowly.
depends. Like, I guess some people say everybody is different. Like, some women or some like men will be like, oh, I just want to do this to get attention from others. But others will be like, oh, this is just me, my identity, and this is how I want to dress. So it all really depends, really. And I'm just like, you do what you want. Like, I don't care. It's none of my business. You are happy and comfortable for how you want to dress. Like, even like YouTubers who I admire here in the UK, like, they wear so much makeup and they looks nice and they wear like particular clothing when they're showing the cleavage area. And I'm just like, that's them. That's how they want to portray themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing, I'm personally, I don't like all that makeup and eyelashes are getting out to here now.
Yeah.
And I mean, but to some people, they tell me that's their art, that's
Mm-hmm.
their, how they express themselves. And I'm like, to each his own, to each his own. So, going to the journalism, I mean, you studied this, you, have really, it's a passion of yours. What are some of the steps that you take to find and then research and develop a new story?
So like based on my education of what I've learned through like university and stuff, in terms of finding a news story, it's like what's trending, what's the discussion, like what's happening, what people talking about. Social media obviously helps, so like Twitter, Facebook, everything helps like that. So it'll be the case where I would have like a thought of a story, and then I'll just do some research behind it, seeing if there's enough research to go about it. Because sometimes there might be a story or it might be something interesting, and that there's not much people. For example, you need like obviously interviewees and people who to talk about it. So if there's no one to, I guess, participate in that angle, then I would say, okay, maybe not now, but we'll save that for later. So it's good to go with current news stories. So how I go about it is just researching, emailing, contacting clients, contacting interviewees from like organizations, from like charities, different people really. Even like I'll spread the word, so like via social media or like word via like people. So I'd be like a friend of mine and she would tell a friend of hers. So it's like word of mouth really. So that's how I go about researching news.
Okay. Okay. In current events, that's fine. I like the stuff that people aren't even thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever, think that it has to be a current topic. Current topics are great, but what about even what you just did, the story
Mm-hmm.
of the UK and slavery? What I don't, I know that has been in the news and people have covered
Yeah.
it, but it wasn't like it was top trending
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it was good. And I think, from what we can see, people are enjoying those stories,
Yeah.
and the more you do, I think people look at you now and they don't know how old you are. So they're like, wait, who they get this 16-year-old to
She's
do news?
16. She's 16. I'm like, no, I'm 21. Like, guys, I just have a baby face. I just accept it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, and roll with it. And don't tell them, anything else, because what that
Let
could,
them be like, yes, I get that. Yeah.
yeah.
Skeptical, like curious.
Yeah, yeah, because once you do come out and whatever they deem to be, oh, that's a grown woman. If you shock them and, switch it up and you you might come out in your, Beyonce outfit and say, hey, that's when the thirsties really come, and you will see the comments and you'll be like, are these guys serious? Like, I know everything is new now, but are you ready for that type of attention? And what do you think about people who, get in your DMs, hey, I saw you here, and then, maybe try to spark a conversation for dating? Because as a single one, I assume.
I'm not single. I was before, but not.
Yeah, from our conversations.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? And do you have a system maybe to like filter, the crazies from the potentials out?
In terms of what I experienced, like, people always DM regardless before this and now, even when on my Insta page, because I created one basically solely on my like journalism work. So like, say if I do something interactive with my Insta story, I do like suggestions or questions and stuff like that. You often get like people who comment or be like, like, sugar, do I need my sugar? Like, I'll provide you money. And I'm like, no, I just laugh it off and I just block. Like, I'm not really going to entertain it. Before, I would say like, I would let like comments get to me, but I just learned that they don't define who I am. So I just like, I don't entertain it. I just look at it, laugh it off, and then block, and then carry on with my day. Like, it doesn't bother me. But I'm aware that, yes, obviously when I watch people or like YouTubers or entertainers in the industry, creative industry as well, when they get comments and how they deal with it, they do exactly the same, that they just don't entertain. They might like, I don't know, screenshot and put on their socials, be like, oh, look what this person said. But at the end of the day, some people deal with things differently, but how I deal with it, I just wouldn't give them my time. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good that, if you believe them when they're saying good things, you'll believe them when they say bad. And I've had YouTubers who would want to like really try to harm themselves based on the comments, based on what people are saying. And it's like, you don't have to read the comments.
Yeah, exactly. My approach is I don't read it. It's not that I don't care. Of course I care what people think of my work, but I'm really not going to stay up at night scrolling at 3 a.m. looking at these comments. Like, they're behind a screen. I don't know you. So,
And they will drive you crazy if you do. Now, people say, oh, but I need the comments to know, what my audience is feeling. And some folks, who cares what they're feeling, because they're going to keep watching. But if you do, because there are people who don't read their comments at all that I want to get in contact with. One of them you might know, if you know about the DW Africa series on YouTube. And there's a woman, Edith.
Yeah.
And I love everything she does. And she's in Berlin, but she's I believe Kenyan, maybe South African, but I think she's Kenyan. And I'm just like, she goes, like, she'll have the whole crew, like she'll have a whole audience and she'll be asking questions. And the way she takes back her mic and goes to the next. Have you seen her? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen her, but I'll check it out.
I'm going to send her to you and you can see, because that type of engagement that she has, it's just like, whoa. And
engagement.
You know how African men are, how, they'll see a woman journalist and they will maybe not respect or try to take over.
Yes.
So I love how she does that. Now, I know you have the podcast. Tell the folks about your podcast.
Yep. So my podcast is called Thought Quest. We're going to change the name to like Generation Z, because most of our audience are from that generation. So yeah, it's basically me and my good friend from uni. So we came up with this concept of basically having a community-based podcast where we can invite just people who want to discuss things that we feel is important, that we feel that is not being talked about. Like, for example, our recent one that we did was on mental health. We've had one on the importance of community, where they came to my house and I did like a hosting thing in games. One was on like womanhood and the importance of that. So it's all varied. So like, and then obviously in light of like coronavirus, we're doing one on like healthy eating, veganism, herbalism, all of that, because we have contacts or people who are very like entrepreneurs or have their own healthcare business. So yeah, like it's just based on various topics each week. So yeah.
Okay. And what platforms can that be heard on? And I'll make sure I have a link in the description box.
Yeah, so we're based our podcast on Anchor, but our socials on Instagram is thoughtquest_. So you can check that out as well. Because we did filming for our mental health EP. We have a person who's like editing our work, because I usually edit, but because it's so much to do, we kind of split it up between other people, so it lifts the weight off my shoulders because I'm doing other things as well. So once that's edited, we're going to do it on YouTube as well and continue filming. And then we have another guy who's going to help us with the production team, so like lighting and all of that stuff. So we've got the mic, but we need like obviously lighting and better, I guess, like background, because it's all in our houses. So we want to do something different, you know? But yeah.
Yeah. And this is a time, I mean, you can be at your house, you can record, and, background varies. I mean, there's so many influencers who will just have a white background, put some shelves in or something.
Yeah.
This used to be a white background, and I'm just starting to use this blue screen because I just like the blue background. And, I just, play around with the Chrome key. If it looks odd enough, I'll use it. If it looks normal, I'm like, I don't want to look normal. I don't want to look like anything else out there.
Yeah, you're yourself. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Now, how do you like Anchor? And shout out to Anchor, because I love Anchor for the payment system. But in the UK, I know things could be, things are always different in every country. How is the payment system and monetization in the UK with Anchor?
Well, the thing with that, like for us, I've checked it out, and what I did was I was trying to look if it's available for us, because they said that it's available in the US. So I need to look into that deeper, because they said like, oh, email us and we'll tell you if it's available. So hopefully it is. But I find it weird, like in terms of the ads, I was like, we had to do it ourselves. Like we had to record it ourselves. So I was like, oh, that's a bit different, because I thought the ads will be automatically already done. You just put it in, but it's like they want you to do the voiceovers. So I was like, okay, it's a bit weird. But yeah.
Well, you know what that is? It's like in radio, how when artists will come and they'll do drops. If you have over 100,000 drops from different people, they could all be saying the same things. Folks will never get mad. Plus, they can use yours on somebody else's and vice versa, because they have all type of advertising on Anchor if you listen enough on their platform. But I just think it's genius. I love Anchor. I mean, one day I'll be in their office. Just we'll be talking, because what they're doing, they took an old model and they flipped it and said, hey, let's share this money. And they pay more than YouTube.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, their CPM is higher than most YouTubers. I mean, you'd have to probably be over. You'd have to be very popular, let's say. I don't want to put a number on it, because then it'll always change, and then people say, hey, that's not right, because
I didn't get that.
Yeah. But yeah, I love what they're doing, because there are 6-figure podcasters. And I mean, some folks are charging. I know for shows we used to book for, those same hosts now are charging $3,500 an interview. Which is crazy that, people would pay that much to be on a podcast. I don't really like that model, but because if you're a journalist, I mean, then now we're doing stuff on whatever's paying. But no, that's I love Anchor, and I hope that works out, even if you have to play around with the system. But.
We're gonna try it out. We're gonna definitely give it a go. But yeah.
Now, when will you start your own YouTube channel?
My own one?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that actually, because I'm just like starting off on like Instagram and like Facebook. I'll try and do because I don't use Facebook as much because it's mostly like Instagram and Twitter that I like to keep connected. But yeah, I had to think about that YouTube.
Well, I just don't like to get the game. I like to give it. And I think that, and I probably told you this already, that if you were to add, more and more you do, if you were to add one story a month
Mm-hmm.
on a big platform like the African Diaspora News Channel, and
Mm-hmm.
then you were to do even more stuff on your own channel, you'll see the audience, come over. And
Yeah.
it's a 74, plus percent male audience. And
Mm-hmm.
you might be talking about something totally different on your channel. You could be talking about baking. You don't have to just do the news,
Yeah.
and that they'll come because they're so used to hearing your voice
Mm-hmm.
that it'll just be a natural transition. So
Mm-hmm.
think about that,
Yeah, definitely I will.
because that's it's the wave is for everyone to win. That's kind of the model, and
Yeah.
we have to be with YouTube policies always changing. It's not easy, but
Mm-hmm.
also we think of, well, what if they shut one channel down? They can't shut all these channels down, and everyone can kind of piggyback, and a channel can be big today, and tomorrow they've shown they can change their policy at
Yeah.
any time and then change it again, and people have to start back over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the stories, are there topics that you like to, outside of the white supremacy, or the wrongs, or what other stories interest you?
I like arts and entertainment, so there's often like I would like go on the internet and search like what's happening in London because I like to go out and see what's like music or like might be theatre and stuff like that. So kind of like reviewing work or like as I said, like events. I went to event that was like celebrating like black hair, so that's why I did my first package. But initially it was like me and my friend go in there, and unfortunately she wasn't feeling well, so I had to go by myself. But it's the fact that being with people, so like yes, arts and entertainment I kind of like as well.
Okay, and that's something, we have the Philip Scott show, that's
Mm-hmm.
all entertainment. um and we have contributors on that channel as well, who bring
Mm-hmm.
in things. Who's your favorite group, band, solo artist right now?
Well, I love Solange. She's always my fave, my top one. I'm also like an R&B soul person, and then here in the UK rap and all of that stuff. But yeah, Solange here at the
Wait, hold
moment.
on, hold on. Sometimes I can hear like folks when they gawk and they say things. Sometimes they're haters. Sometimes they're like, wait, you said UK rap. Now, do you mean rap, grime, garage?
Um, I like grime, but it's mostly like pop, like rap music, because what these artists are doing, they're like changing depending like where the trend is going. So like, for example, Afro beats here is becoming different, or like drill music is becoming more poppy because drill is not seen as uh, like it's not in the mainstream like you'll hear it on the radio. It's just when they switch to like elements of pop music, that's when they're on the radio, like Radio One or whoever like that. So all these artists kind of interchange. But yeah, I'll say like rap, like pop music, like Stormzy's grime, or I'll be like AJ Tracy, or like different artists really. So yeah.
Okay, did you say Stormzy?
Hmm.
Huh. Okay, that's how I know you're grown. Because if you're watching Stormzy, he's had some of the most controversial
Yeah, him
videos.
and Dave, very controversial. That's what I like.
Yeah.
They just speak the truth and speak how it is. Even when Dave performed at the Brit Awards and his song Black, people, the amount of like comments like Ofcom got like kind of complaints from like people, oh, it's very like hating white and and they were like, no, simply he's speaking the truth and he's representing his background and his culture. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, also what's interesting how drill music out there, like I'll be honest, when I heard grime and garage for the first time, it was like when I first heard like chopped and screwed. I'm like, wait, is this messed up? Like, do we need to, play the tape? You don't even know what this is, but we have to pull the tape back.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Did it pull out? Like, what's going on? What's the problem? And then my friends are like, no, this is it. And I'm in London, so when in Rome, and it has to grow on you. But like for drill music to hit the UK and even like India, I'm like, some trends shouldn't go, because drill really is kill music. I mean,
it is because it's based on reality and gangs, and like, what we have here is UK like territory. So like in each area or each borough, certain gangs don't mix with others and certain areas. So it's all about that, and that's what I did my dissertation on, actually, drill music. So yeah, it was very interesting. But they speak reality, and people think, oh, if kids listen to this, then it will encourage them, especially boys, to go out and stab. And it's just like the boys I talked to or I interviewed for my dissertation, they were like, we love the beat, we love the melody, but I'm a smart lad, and it doesn't make me want to go outside and stab someone. So yeah, I feel like the government or the police come up with excuses as to why kids on the street, but there's many factors, like the decline of youth clubs, or like parents are not there, or like gangs are like misleading and like encouraging people. So it all varies, is economic and where they're from, really.
It does. I think when people see numbers like drill, coming from that Chicago area, and the way they present it, and then if the UK tries to present it, in the UK, I mean, you should never want your area, any area, to be as violent as, an American city. That's why I love London. I mean, I would name my oldest London. I have a London and a Sydney, but I love it because when I would go out there as a younger man, I always felt safe, because I'm like, hey, somebody could only stab me, and I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
And now I know guns are, more on the play, but I mean, UK does not play with if you get caught with a gun. So I don't. Yeah, I don't.
It's just accessible in terms of like knives and like machetes that people have, but yeah, like drill, as I said, reality for these artists, and some people say like they made it up just to like get the numbers, so it might not even happening, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So it's music at the end of the day. But for me, I love it because of the beat of it and how it makes me feel. It makes me feel so motivated to do my stuff. Not motivated to hurt anyone, but I just feel in that mood. But yeah, that's just me.
Okay. Well, I told you before this started that you might be suspect as calm and collective. They say the real folks out there, that's how they are, those who really drill. But are you a physical person as far as sports or whatnot? For all I know, you might do jiu-jitsu or
I used to be, when I was like in high school, like athletics is my thing. I love athletics. Like I could watch replays of like the Diamond League or like something that is happening right now. I could just rewatch athletics all the time. And I often, when they hosted it here, our like uncle would like bring us and treat us to that. So I love athletics. But since then, like high school, I haven't done much. I did like netball and did football and all that stuff. But right now, no, I haven't. I'm not really that active. I'm not really a gym person, like just doing stuff. I would rather just join an activity. So like a dance class, which I'm hoping to do when everything's back to normal. That's what I want to do, a dance class, because I love street dance. So I would like to get back to that, or swimming. So yeah, but at the moment, no. But I will be.
Well, maybe that's part of the YouTube, because you can do a different dance theme every day right in your living room. Like folks right now, this is the time to create.
Yeah.
and people are watching more and more. I mean, YouTube numbers are just they're so sweet right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, folks don't know what a book is. They know what
Yeah.
YouTube is. So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I got some of the game that I wanted to get from you. I don't want to give a game overload. I want people to check out your stories. I want
Mm-hmm.
them to follow you on, you know, your socials. So again, I'll have all that information in there, folks. You can go ask your questions. You can ask for everything. This is just going to be one of many, because once all this craziness ends, we want to come to the UK. Kia,
Yeah.
just so you know, as a show, whatnot. We
Yeah.
want to come there. We want to be able to build different studios and have satellite offices. And, you know, it just hasn't happened yet, but I do have a treatment going through TV in the UK for a friend who works in the production area. And so, you know, and you're part of that treatment. So I want to push that. So just know that we'll pray, we'll do the work. Faith without works is dead, and we will, you know, we'll see what happens. But I can see, like, as a team, the travels and everything that we want to do. And it just makes sense, because Phil already says there's some places he doesn't want to go. And he's like, with the team, hey, let the team go there, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know, so that's that. You guys have gotten the game. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you, Kia, for coming on.
Thank you.
Blessed.